The theme today is Pakistan's relations with Afghanistan. Afghanistan is one of the four neighbors that Pakistan has. In addition to Afghanistan, it's China, India, and Iran. With Afghanistan, Pakistan has always had a difficult relationship. Afghanistan was the only country that did not favor the joining of Pakistan in the UN system. And after that, it refused to accept the Durand Line, which the British had created as the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. For some time after the birth of Pakistan, the Afghan government supported the idea of Pakhtunistan, which was to create an independent state between Afghanistan and Pakistan, including all the tribal areas, Pakhtun areas, going up to the right bank of the Indus River. That particular program finished after the Soviets invaded Afghanistan in 1979. And the Soviets were there for 10 years, 1979 to 1989, and Pakistan was deeply involved in the expulsion of Soviet Union from Afghanistan. That is an interesting point about the history because Pakistan's effort was supported by the United States and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia established a number of schools in what's called the tribal belt. And these schools produced highly motivated religious extremists who then eventually became the Taliban. Taliban received a lot of support from the United States in terms of money, which was handled by Pakistan's security services. And this money was given to the Afghan Taliban, and security services convinced the Taliban that don't do any fighting, just go forward and bribe your way to Kabul, which is what they did. And they established the Taliban regime in Kabul in 1996. Because they gave sanctuary to Osama bin Laden in the area around Kandahar, from where Osama launched the attack on the United States. The United States decided to invade Afghanistan. They didn't really send in their troops in large numbers. They used what's called the Northern Alliance, which is an alliance of non-Pakhtun people. And they were the main fighters who then threw out Taliban and became the leaders of Afghanistan. It is important to remember that Afghanistan has four large ethnic groups. The largest are Pakhtun, the second largest is Tajik, and the third and fourth are Uzbeks and the Shiites. These four groups have been virtually independent, and it has always been difficult for the central government to establish its control over these groups. When the Taliban was thrown out of Kabul, a new government was established, and Hamid Karzai, who lived in Quetta, went into Afghanistan and became the first president of Afghanistan. A new constitution was adopted, which limited the term of the president to two. So when Karzai had served his 2 terms, Ashraf Ghani, who had worked with me at the World Bank, became the president of Afghanistan. Ashraf Ghani, over time, developed a strong dislike for Pakistan, and I once had a very difficult conversation with him when he invited me to go to Kabul and spend a day with him. Anyhow, when the Taliban began to encroach Kabul, again assisted uh, by the by the security services, they used money to work their way uh, towards Kabul. And on 15th of August, uh, 15th of August, the Taliban took over control uh, of Kabul. Uh, Taliban in Afghanistan are important for Pakistan for a number of reasons. One of them is trade. Pakistan has had a very active trading relationship with Afghanistan. Some of this trade is formal and some of it is informal. Informal trade means that the tribes on either side of the border just buy and sell from one another and the states don't get involved. Formal trade is through designated ports of entry like Landi, Kotal, and Chaman. And Pakistan, uh, more than Afghanistan, has depended on Afghan goods, particularly fruits and vegetables and carpets and so on. What is problematic about Taliban rule in Afghanistan is the way they are treating their women. Uh, Women are second class citizens. They are not allowed to attend schools and universities. They must cover their bodies fully and they cannot go out alone unless they are accompanied by a male relative. This has meant the exclusion of half of the population from economic activities. My problem would be if some of this gets imported into Pakistan via the Afghan residents in Pakistan. It is not fully recognized how large the Afghan population is in Pakistan. Pakistan has the largest Pashtun population in the world. It is much larger than the Pashtuns in Afghanistan. Something like 40 million Pashtuns reside in Pakistan. And so, what happens in Afghanistan uh, has influence over Pakistan via the Pashtun population. And the role of women, therefore, becomes important. Uh, we must recognize and appreciate the fact that Karachi is now the largest Pashtun city in the world. It has more Pashtuns than Kabul and Peshawar. Uh, Taliban have now established a highly centralized state. As I was saying earlier on, uh, they have four large ethnic groups, and they have always been particularly independent of central authority. So uh, it's a federation of four groups, and that could have consequences for Pakistan by creating a strong effort on the part of Pashtuns in uh, the northern areas of Pakistan, both in Pakhtunkhwa as well as in Balochistan and in Karachi. Uh, the United States and other Western countries have taken a very negative view of developments in Afghanistan, and they have blocked all money from flowing into Afghanistan, including the money that really belongs to the Afghan government. They have imposed sanctions on the country with the result that the United Nations now expect that Pakhtuns will suffer enormously, that there will be Uh, Possibly, there's possibility of famines, uh, very large child mortality, women's mortality, and this will be a major setback in Afghanistan. And this could lead possibly to the revival of militancy of the type that we saw earlier in Afghan history. And that has implications for Pakistan. So it is in Pakistan's interest to work with the West to get money flowing back into Afghanistan so that they can provide basic services to its people, particularly childcare, women's care, and so on. So there are consequences for Pakistan of what's happening in Afghanistan, and these are trade relations, women empowerment, uh, the way the country is being governed by the Taliban, and the possibility of militancy. So I will stop.